We're going to be reacting to I'm a Proud Rage Quitter and Sparking Zero, and here's why. So, this is going to be interesting.
What's good, y'all? So look, now I had a video today, so I want to really talk to y'all. You feel me? It's about the game. Nothing too serious. You know what I'm saying? It's about rage quitters, and yes, I am one of them. I am a proud rage quitter, but let me explain. But only
Bro, Confessions of a Proud Rage Quitter. I love it. I know this is going to be a very hot topic. This is going to be a difficult one to kind of react to and put my thoughts into because, I don't know. I think that it's a really big problem and it's extremely complicated. It's a lot more complicated than people realize. Um,
against you bitch ass spammers and cheesers, and I'm gonna explain.
Okay, so he's a proud rage quitter, and his reason or justification for that is that people are cheesers and spammers. Okay, that's what he said so far. I think that there's other reasons for it, right? So for me, it's like you have to consider if these anime games had flawless online netcode, I don't think that there's really any justified reason to leave the game. But still, there will be some people that will rage quit and leave, even if there's a penalty involved, right? Some people think that, oh, if we just put a penalty in, it'll fix everything. It doesn't really. Of course, the reason that we're hearing is because people are cheesers and spammers, but just because someone tells you that that's the reason why they're doing it doesn't mean that's the reason why they're doing it. Psychology teaches us that, and surveys teach us that, in the study of behavioral psychology and just behavior of what people do and versus what they say. Guys, people out here lying. People do lie, and it's not that they lie purposely. It's that, look, it's just human nature that a lot of people in these sort of situations, you want to avoid pain, you want to seek out pleasure, right? It's like the basics. What is the pain? If you're losing over and over and over again, it doesn't matter what the reason is, right? It's painful. So you want to avoid that pain, right? And you want to be winning more often, or at least this is the thing. These games are not balanced, and this is what goes back to the whole the game is not meant to be balanced. Okay, whatever. The reality is that at some level the game has to be balanced, because if it isn't, every action has a reaction. It's like physics, right? And if it's not balanced, you're going to get all these problems. And one of the problems is rage quitting. Of course, we can put rage quitting penalties, but these people will just stop playing the game because it doesn't solve the underlying issues, right? Which is that there's too much cheese or broken things or overpowered things or easy ways to win that don't take that aren't justified, that don't create a lot of satisfaction, that, the whole point of a balance is you want there to be, I don't want to use the word equal playing field, but you want there to be kind of like an equal opportunity, right? Not equal outcomes, but an equal opportunity for both players to win. And you both want to, have this sense or feeling that if you both get into a game, right, that you both have about an equal chance of winning, and then let the best man win. Let the best player win, right? That's the mentality. But in a lot of these anime games, that isn't the case. And the linchpin and the issue there is that the common denominator, the thing that kind of makes or breaks the game, is the online stable. When I press the button, will the button come out later, before? Usually it's later, right? How much later? How much of a delay? And will there even be a button? There's so many times in these anime games, arena fighters, where you press the button and it doesn't even get an input. And yes, that's with a hardline connection. That's with the best internet possible, because it's usually player to player, PvP or whatever, or peer to peer, sorry. And it's usually not on a server. Sometimes they're on a server, but whatever reason, there isn't that rollback netcode. There isn't that flawless netcode. They don't invest in it unless it's like a freaking gotcha game, right? Whether that's on mobile or if it's on console too. There's a gotcha game on console called My Hero Ultra Rumble. It's definitely like a first person anime shooter type, Fortnite type thing going on there, right? There is that element of a gotcha game where when you want to get the new characters, you have to spend a lot of money to get them, usually because you don't get enough points naturally to get these characters and roll for them.
So look, like, yeah, mind you, I am perfectly fine with accepting a loss. I really am. When you beat me fairly, like this guy right here, I'm fighting in this vid.
See, like, look, he's already talking about, I'm perfectly fine accepting a loss if you beat me fairly. So this is what I'm talking about. Everyone focuses on the rage quitter and they immediately go to skill issue, which, yes, some of them do have a skill issue. Some of them haven't learned to play the game properly. And that is true, but that is not the primary reason. I honest to God think that the primary reason, or the reason that people are not looking at, is like, this guy is being honest, right? Like, I think that this is true. I think he genuinely has this sense and this feeling, or this, he's thinking about it. He honestly believes that people are basically stealing and robbing his experience and his wins from him in one way or another. So the leg is one thing. The other thing is the cheese. So there is some validity to that. And of course, there's counterplay and ways to counter, but the game is just really not that fun. A lot of people have thought that and had these thoughts, and that's why there's about a 90% drop-off rate in terms of player retention, in terms of people physically playing the game. Yes, they still might have the game, but they're choosing to play other games. And for some reason, people ignore this. I haven't just proved it on Steam. I've shown the charts on Steam. I've also shown the PlayStation numbers. We got the Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox, Overwatch 2. Yeah, classic Overwatch is out, right? So I played it. It's actually pretty fun. Like, this is classic Overwatch when it first came out, but I think people want to actually play like Overwatch 1 before Overwatch 2 came out. That would be a lot more fun than what they're doing. But anyways, Rocket League always up there, Apex Legends always up there. Here we go. Dragon Ball Sparking 0. Interesting. In the last 30 days, it was at 10. Now it's at 2. Let's go to the last 7 days. It was at like, what was it, like 20? Okay. It's kind of sitting at the same, so interesting. It looks like it actually may have plateaued and we may have reached a floor. So that's good. That's good news.
He's an A5 rank. You feel me? He was using Gogeta. You know, and I think it's not always about the character being cheesy. It's about how you, I feel like it's more like about how you use the character. So, like, if you just spamming, like, certain shit, like, instant spark.
I get what he's saying. If you're just waiting for the cooldown of your skill points and basically stalling and not really playing the game, which the game does promote, you can do that, then, yeah, that would be pretty cheesy, right? Like, if you have Videl, you know, maybe not the best example. What is it, like Vegito or something? There's one of those fusion characters, and before he goes Super Saiyan, I believe he has the after image, but then you can transform as well. Then you can de-transform and go back into it. Because, like, the transformed version, I think, doesn't have it. So, like, you can kind of strategize that way by transforming and de-transforming. It's pretty interesting. But, like, you know, it's a very strong character that has after image. And if you're just kind of stalling and waiting and getting your skill points up, you can just spam that over and over again. So, but is that the way the game is supposed to be played? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
After image strike. Wild sense. If you spamming this shit, and perception, if you spamming this shit, that's a fucking problem to me.
Yeah, it's a problem, but, like, okay. This is the issue. Like, is there really a situation where you're fighting a good character that has after image, right? And then you're having a really good game, but then they pop it, they don't spam it, but they do use it occasionally and they just pop it at the right time. If they do that and they win, like, are you really going to feel good about that? I think most people still don't feel good about that, right? So defining what is cheese and what is not cheese, or what is broken and not broken, or what is corny and not corny, what is valid and not valid, what I can respect you for in terms of how you play, that's a very difficult situation, because even in Storm games, Naruto Storm games, from Storm 2 all the way to now Storm Connections, the latest patch of Storm Connections, because there's been like about 3 or 4 different versions of Storm Connections. And each one of those, even though they've been patches, they're all different separate games. That's, they really are. They play differently. The way you do things is different. The meta is completely different. Everything about it is different. How you approach stuff is different. Every step of the way, every one of these games, everyone at different points of the time and their learning curves are going to have a different opinion on what is and isn't cheesy. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the community to come together and say what is cheese and what isn't, because a lot of people say, please don't touch the game, don't balance it, it's perfect the way that it is. And then a lot of people would say, hey, just change a couple different things, but don't change it too much. But then there's enormous amounts of people that say change everything because this game looks like it was half-baked and they didn't even do any play testing. It looks like they didn't do any play testing. And to be honest, it does look like they either rushed it because of, for whatever reason, maybe their licensing was running out. Maybe they were trying to match it up with Dragon Ball Daima, as a viewer of the channel said in one of my videos. And maybe they don't have the resources. It's hard to believe, but maybe they only had so much of a budget and this is the best they could come up with. And maybe it's just perfect, right? It's not perfect. There's definitely things wrong with it. Because even there was that one guy that said, hey, like the game is perfect. Don't change anything, but change unblockables. Please take those out of the game. Take Broly's unblockables and all the other unblockables out of the game. Well, you can't say the game is perfect and then say you want unblockables out. You can say the game is almost perfect, I like it a lot, but I'm having problems with this one thing. And that's the copium, right? And that's the dissonance, the cognitive dissonance, the difficult, having the rose-colored glasses on, being in the honeymoon phase. I get it. Some people are going to be in the honeymoon phase for like 3-4 years. It is what it is. It took me a really long time to understand how negatively these games are affected by the lack of online stability and good netcodes and rollback netcodes. Like I had it was difficult for me like about 2 or 3 months ago when I basically said I was disgusted with Naruto Storm Connections. I was disgusted with that game because of the connection, which is crazy because it's in the name, right? To the point where Tamari doesn't even bother me that much because I think it's just part of the game at this point unless they change it. Of course that's a problem, but like those are things that I learned to overcome. I don't have a problem with that. Just give me a chance to fight back. Give me a chance to react, and I will try my best to come up with a counter solution. And I'm with that. So I understand the Dragon Ball community. I understand the Sparking Zero community when they say there's all these counters and all that. True. But like it's really not that fun to go through all that, and it's not that fun to watch either. A lot of people say that.
And you don't deserve me to finish out the game.
You don't deserve me to finish out the game.
You know what I'm saying? So yes. And an unblockable ultimate.
Okay, so like he's talking about unblockable, that's funny. So he's saying you have to earn it. So a lot of these people that rage quit, yeah, some of them are really bad. They have a skill issue, but a lot of them actually feel like they're being gypped. They're being robbed, right? Of a good experience, of a fair fight, right? You don't deserve it.
To spark into an unblockable ultimate. That shit. And key blast spamming.
Yeah, the key blast spamming does need to be balanced for sure. There needs to be something there. I think, in all honesty, I think that even if you did something like where you can't die from key blast spams would be really good, right? So, say that you have 1% health. I've definitely ended a lot of matches doing that to people where I just, do about like, I don't know, 3 or 4 key blasts and then move around, change my position, do another 3 or 4, try to get in, do 3 or 4. So like I wouldn't call that necessarily spamming because there is a technique there, but you're optimizing killing them by key blast, right? So it's the same thing like Death by Kunai and Naruto Storm games, but this is a little bit differently because they come out in succession, quick succession. So I think it's fine the way it is, but there needs to be something there where maybe people can't do quite as many key blasts, right? And at the very end, maybe on your last health bar, they can't cheese you like that. They have to change their style of play, and they actually have to, like, the key blast maybe wouldn't do any damage, it would just stun you in your last health bar, right? And That's fine. I think the stunning is fine, although the stunning into Broly unblockable is like something people are doing, so that's difficult. But that's another, caveat we can talk about. Like, is that okay? Are you guys okay with that? Do you have a problem with the Key Blast stun into Broly Ultimate? So, like, you see how there's different things here that you have to balance and at different times. So I feel like this is just I feel like we're getting the game and we're the play testers, right? And there's still these things that need to be ironed out that aren't balanced.
Like this guy right here, he was playing a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but he wasn't doing that. You feel me? He wasn't doing no instant spark spam. He did wild sense, but he wasn't spamming it. You feel me? So like, respect to this guy. His gamer tag, you see, it's on the upper right hand corner. So respect to this guy right here. But
All right, so that's good. So he wants to actually respect is very important to him. So this is actually like, it's tough. It's going to be a tough thing to sell to people, but look, some people are looking for fair fights. Some people are looking for respect. Some people are looking for meaningful experiences. Some people are looking for mutual respect. And you know what? I agree with him here. I agree with him here that he has a valid point here. He really does. And you can see he was throwing hands. They were both throwing hands and they were both looking for that experience. But just like in Storm games, a lot of the times people will just kind of optimize the damage for wasting substitution bars until you have no subs and then combo to ult you, or they will just hit you with jitsus and supports. Like every game is like that, right? For the meta. In general, if I were to sum up the meta, there's definitely some caveats and different things, but that's basically the main goal. So in this, basically both games make it difficult to actual combo, but you can in Storm games for sure. In this game, I find it's like a lot more difficult to actually combo and throw hands, but that's the most enjoyable part, and it's like the game is actively trying to stop you from comboing. It's trying to de-incentivize you, right? It doesn't give you it to combo. It doesn't give you those incentives to combo. It makes you jump through hoops and play all these mini games that you don't want to play. Also, I will say this: I've been a top 500 player in multiple games, right? In many Storm games, top 500 player, much higher than top 500, but I'll just say top 500. In Overwatch 1, I was on PlayStation when they had crossplay, so it was Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch together, right? I was top 500 there for 2 seasons, and I was a master for like 7 seasons. And on a few other games as well. Pokemon Go, when it first came out, I was a top 500 player. That was insanely hard. I got the Pikachu Libra. That was a long time ago. I mean, I don't play that game actively, but I do pretty damn good with it still when I occasionally play it. There was also Naruto Blazing. I was a top 500 player. The highest I got was rank 7. So when it was in peak, that game's gone now too. But the point is if I could do that there, I can do it here too, but I'm someone who learns slower, right? So like it's going to take me a while to get to that point. So I have to decide, is this a good game to invest my time in, yes or no, to dump my time in? And for me, I wasn't really having very much fun with it. The main thing was, does this game have stable online? No, it doesn't. I sold the game. The other things is that I didn't think it was that fun to play. I didn't think that the mechanics had as much depth that I wanted to, or didn't meet the threshold or my standards for depth, right? It like all those other games I mentioned, even like Pokemon Go, you're just literally just pressing a button. It's just decision making. It's all about decision making, right? And what to switch when, and it's strategy. And you're basically just pressing one button, but the depth comes in the strategy, comes in what kind of team, 3-man team are you going to use of Pokemon and all this stuff, right? So like, and same thing with Storm games, insane amount of depth, insane amount of strategy at the highest level. But it also allows people to play in a basic way, which is fine. But the reality is the satisfaction and the fun isn't there unless you're throwing hands. And people don't want to do this online. Online, people do not want to do what these people are doing right now. I occasionally, super occasionally, like I can think of maybe 10 out of the 300 people I probably played 300 to 400 fights online, right? Mostly single ranked mode. I did some DP as well. And it's like, people don't want to do that. They just want to cheese you.
And I ain't just talking about this guy. I'm talking about, cause I ain't gonna lie, I did rage quit yesterday. I did rage quit against legit players. Only like a couple.
All right, now we're getting a little weird because he says he did rage quit against legit players, but only a couple. Now this is the problem. Is yeah, he said some good points, but now it's like, what are we talking about here? Why would you rage quit against a legit player? Is it because of the lag, but you're not able to articulate that?
But before that, I want to say something else. Another rage quit I did. All right. So I was playing against. I was about to hit B2 rank, right? And I was playing against this Master Roshi user, bitch ass spammer. But the first time I played him, he played legit. So he played legit. I beat him, right? When he played legit, this Master Roshi user, I beat him. So then, and after I won, I'm like, oh, I'm one win away from being B2. So I play him again. I do a rematch. So that second match, he started spamming shit. And, I think I believe Master Roshi has the fastest charge up in the game. And he has an unblockable super. And he also has after image strike. So that's what he kept spamming. All three. The fast charge. And then the lightning surprise attack, whatever that shit called. Nigga just kept spamming that shit. And he kept running away from me the whole match. So I'm like, bro, I quit. For two reasons. One, because you kept spamming. And two, because I was about to hit B2 and I was not trying to lose.
Okay, at least the guy's being honest, right? Like, I can see that. That's the one thing I can give him credit for here is that it looks like he's doing his best to be honest. It looks like this is like Confessions of a Rage Quitter in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. But at least he's trying to be honest. I get what he's saying, but like the reality is you are competing. You're playing ranked mode, so people are gonna do whatever they can to win, right? Like a lot of that is not really the player's fault. It's more about the developers and how they made the game, right?
I have been stuck at B3 for so long. All right.
Look.
Gotta know.
Look, that's an illusion, right? Like, of course there's opponents, right? But really the main opponent is yourself. This guy sounds like he's struggling more with himself in terms of he basically got hard stuck at B2 or B3 or whatever. And he can't get higher, and that's frustrating for him. And I think the solution there really is to go back to the go back to the training mode, which is not that great, by the way. One of the problems with this game, if I compare this training mode to any of the Storm training modes, right, like in Storm 4 or Storm Connections, it is 100 times worse. Like Naruto Storm Connections training mode is way better. And then of course, traditional fighting games have way, way better training modes than even that. But the Storm ones are sufficient and they give you enough to do what you need to learn the skills. In this game, it's not quite enough. It really isn't. It's lacking severely. The best thing you can do is go in with a buddy online, hop on the mic, and you're both talking and you basically both train and do different things. And that's how you really get better. You can get somewhere in the training mode, but it's not going to refine all the tools that you need to get great at the game. I understand that he's hard stuck, and I understand there's legitimate reasons, and I understand that he feels like the only way he can kind of go back, like say something or do something about it, is to rage quit or leave. And a lot of people are doing it, and I think a lot of people can't articulate it the way that he can. They would probably just say that this game sucks, or they would say something basic.
Getting from B3 to B2 is a fucking struggle. I went down. Matter of fact, this happened to me 2 times. I went from B3 all the way back down to B5. Twice. All because you spamming niggas on ranked. Like, Oh, look at this clip that's about to pop up right here. Look. Two, hey, huh, huh. You feel me? I'm you know what I'm saying? But I have been struck for so long. I have been stuck at B3 for so long. All right.
Okay, you know what? Let's just look at this. Not just words, but actions. He actually uploaded a video of him losing and saying, "I respect this man and he beat me." Everyone is, not everyone, but most people, a lot of people, especially the critics of this person and the people that criticize leaving and rage quitting, they're not gonna really internalize how important this is. The first thing he shows is him humbling himself, saying, "I respect this man for throwing hands," even though he was using SSJ4 Gogeta, right? Or one of the best characters, which I love that character. But that character is definitely even stronger than the one he's using, right? It's like, this is actually really important to give him more validity, to make everything he's saying more valid at some level. Is he accepted the loss and he humbled himself by showing you all publicly the loss. This is a very important thing.
Matter of fact, this happened to me 2 times. I went from B3 all the way back down to B5 twice.
I actually respect that. I respect that he lost and he showed it.
Twice. All because you spamming niggas on ranked. Like, oh, look at this clip that's about to pop up right here. Look. Two, hey, huh, huh. You feel me? I'm you know what I'm saying? But I have been struggling to get past B3 for like.
Yeah, the repetition of that can be really boring, right? Like, it goes on way longer than this, too. It can go on longer. And I really don't like that about the game. I don't find it that exciting. It's not like I'm super excited to see who wins the outcome of this, and then, because afterwards the play is usually dead, right? And it doesn't really go anywhere usually. Can it? I'm sure it can.
You know what I'm saying? But I have been struggling to get past B3 for like the longest. So, and I'm about to play in this match right here. I was going to try to, what's it called? Rematch this guy, but he ended up declining. So they ended up putting me up against an A1 rank. And watch how I do against this A1 nigga. A1 steak sauce. The other nigga was an A5. Watch me play against this A1. But yeah. What was I saying? So look, I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off from that. So like, you know, you playing spammers and shit, I get pissed. So I rage quit. So sometimes if I've been playing against spammers all day and I see you using one of them motherfuckers, like right before the match start, and I see like Vegito, I see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I see Full Power Jiren, I see Broly, Legendary Super Saiyan, I'm quitting immediately. I'm closing my app immediately. I don't give a fuck. But like, you feel me? So when I was playing this legit,
I don't know, man. I think what I just heard basically shows me that he's tilted, he's tilting, he's easily tilted, and he basically just gives up and doesn't want to play anymore. And I mean, I sympathize with all that, but at the same time, I don't think that giving up is the way. I think if you're at that point where you're just so tilted that anything and everything will just trigger you, then you probably need to just stop playing the game. I mean, I sold my game. I'm not opposed to rebuying it later on if they fix things, if they make the game better, right? If they make the game better and it's something that's appeals to me, I wouldn't necessarily, I would like to play it again potentially in the future, but I also would not pay full price for it. I wouldn't pay anything like that. I think it's only worth like a $20 or $30 game, plus $10 maybe for DLC, and that's it. It's not worth the full price of the game. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you're at that point wanting to tilt, then you're cooked, bro. You're cooked and the game is cooking you. And I get it. I sympathize with you. I understand, but what I see and hear is a lot of emotions and being stuck in your emotions. I don't mean to insult you or anything like that, but like I said, I feel for you, but I think that's a big reason why you don't have a lot of likes on the video, but you have a lot of views. I'm sure there's a lot of dislikes. Even I'm finding it hard to like this video.
Player, he was using Goten, right? I ain't gonna lie, he whooped my ass. But he was playing legit. But the only reason I quit was because I was about to hit B2. So I played like 2 players that was legit, and I quit because I was trying to hit B2.
Yeah, now it's starting to get weird, right? Because it's like, okay, so now you're quitting because you want to rank up, and you're basically quitting to win and quitting to boost your rank, and that is not good, right? I get wanting to rank up, but if you're quitting mainly for this reason, like I said, we don't really know what is true and not true 100%. This is just his testimony. Some of this stuff will be true, some of it will not be true. There's a few things here that I don't really agree with, right?
That's it. Everybody else, like I said before, Vegetos, fucking Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. I didn't even let the match play out. As soon as it started and I seen that character, quit, close app. So then I finally play against this what's it called? This he was using Baby Vegeta, I think. Yeah. And yeah, I finally hit B2. I'll show you after this match, and this nigga he was actually like, you know what I'm saying? This nigga was actually nice. He was A1 rank. He was actually nice. But I was nicer. No, I'm playing. Let me stop. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about for real. I'm gonna just show y'all this match. I had made this clip in like 14 minutes, so I thought it was gonna be longer.
All right, so I mean, that kind of brings a more positive vibe to it, which is, look, it looks like he is refusing to actually play those characters that are super, super cheesy. So it does look like what he's saying. Another point that would validate and give more validity to what he's doing is you don't see him using those characters. He's using this character, right? Which I know is weaker. It's a good character, but it's not so good that it's broken.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for real. But I play him twice though. So like, to all you spamming niggas, like, watch. If they patch this shit to where like niggas don't be able to spam, it's over with for y'all. Y'all not good anyway. You feel me? Y'all not good. Y'all just rely on these bum ass exploits that this game got. As soon as they,
you know what? There's some courage there to say that. You know, there's some courage there to say that there's exploits, there's gimmicks. Right? I'm saying that there's gimmicks. He's saying exploits. You know what? Maybe he's true. Maybe what he's saying is true. Maybe he's right. Maybe if they patch this game and they change a lot of things, maybe he's right. Maybe a lot of these people are just going to be frauds and fakes, and the real players, the real skilled players are going to come out, and those are going to be the ones that are winning. But will he still rage quit afterwards just because he doesn't like the result? That's the issue. I think quitting just because you're not getting the result you want is not the great idea. But I think that also in the same way, like, rage quitting and leaving also is one of the only ways to show that you don't agree with what's happening, and it's almost like your way of voting, right? It's like allowing you to say, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing, so I'm out of here, and then it creates more problems. It's like inflammation, right? Rage quitting is kind of like inflammation in the body, where it's like, oh, we have a problem and you have to address it. I mean, some of these comments are hilarious. They need to permanently ban every rage quit abuser. I mean, I don't know about that. Well, yeah, I mean, they need to have a system, right? They need to have a system to stop this. I mean, he makes a good point that they will actually quit if he wins. But the thing is, he didn't show the receipts, so I mean, I don't know if that is partially true, but he didn't really prove it. He says, I don't care. I fight to fight cheese. I leave. So this guy admits he leaves too because he bought the game to play, not be pissed off while using my own device. So that's the thing, right? It's like a lot of people bought the game and they feel like they're not getting their money's worth and they're not getting their value, right? And it's pissing them off. It's upsetting them. And maybe it is for some of them a skill issue, but for a lot of them, it's a lot of other things. It's the game, right? The game not being polished, the game having bad online, the game not having great mechanics. I mean, that's true. I'm surprised this doesn't have likes. I almost want to like that. This is funny. Also, bro, you're not stuck in B3. You live there. You bought a house there. You invested in the neighborhood. It's just funny, dude. Someone rage quitting on me feels better than actually winning. Yeah, that's probably true too. Yeah. It's annoying, but it's also funny. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and share. I hope you have a fantastic day, an amazing day. If not, I hope it gets better for you soon.